Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The story begins in a world quietly collapsing under the weight of signals no one wants to acknowledge. Strange events ripple across cities, sudden power failures glowing like silent warnings, skies flickering with colors never seen before, and a rising fear that stretches from small towns to the largest capitals. Scientists whisper about cosmic anomalies, ancient prophecies, and unnatural tremors running beneath the earth, but the governments hide everything behind calm press releases. People sense something coming, something bigger than storms or wars, something that feels like the end of the world curling its fingers around humanity's last moments. This movie builds its atmosphere slowly, letting tension grow from the smallest details, a sudden stillness in the air, the strange behavior of animals, and the eerie silence after distant explosions no one explains. The heart of the film follows. A group of survivors, each carrying their own secrets, fears, and unresolved pasts. Their journey begins separately, scattered across different parts of the world, but fate pulls them together when chaos finally erupts. One is a former military strategist haunted by decisions that cost innocent lives. Another is a scientist whose research accidentally predicted the catastrophe long before anyone believed her. A young teenager separated from his family in the first wave of destruction struggles to stay brave even when he feels like breaking. A medic with a hidden past fights to save anyone she encounters even when she has lost faith in herself. Their paths collide when the skies tear open with an unnatural roar, unleashing waves of destruction that swallow cities within minutes. The first major event of the apocalypse is an enormous shockwave of light bursting through the sky, shattering communication systems, collapsing satellites, and turning night into a blinding storm. People rush through the streets confused, screaming, or frozen in disbelief as the world transforms into something unrecognizable. Buildings topple like sandcastles, firestorms rise from cracked earth, and oceans behave as though dragged by unseen forces. This moment marks the beginning of the survivors' journey, forcing them to flee their homes and face a world where nothing is predictable anymore. Their survival becomes a race against collapsing landscapes, poisonous air, and disasters that multiply without warning. The visuals of these scenes unfold like a mixture of beauty and terror, blending the elegance of cosmic chaos with the harsh brutality of a dying world. As the characters travel through the ruins, they begin to uncover clues about what caused the apocalypse. Ancient carvings hidden in underground temples, coded messages from lost civilizations, and scientific anomalies that suggest humanity was warned thousands of years ago. These discoveries reveal that the apocalypse is not random. It is a cycle, a cleansing force triggered by cosmic alignment. Each clue deepens the mystery, pushing the survivors into conflicts and moral dilemmas as they try to understand whether the world is ending because of nature, the universe, or human mistakes amplified to an irreversible scale. The scientist of the group struggles with guilt, knowing her research might have uncovered the truth too late. The strategist wrestles with the fear that nothing he learned in war can help against an unstoppable cosmic force. One of the strongest emotional threads of the film comes from the relationships forming within the group. The teenager slowly begins to trust the others, finding in them the family he lost. The medic becomes his guardian in spirit, shielding him from horrors she has already seen too many times. The strategist, once cold and detached, finds himself becoming a mentor to the boy, teaching him survival skills, reminding him that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. Meanwhile, the scientist develops a fragile bond with the medic, rooted in shared moments of vulnerability as they confess their darkest regrets. These emotional connections create powerful contrasts against the collapsing world around them, turning their journey into more than a fight for survival. It becomes a fight for the meaning of humanity. As disaster intensifies, new threats rise. Creatures mutated by the cosmic disturbance appear in the abandoned streets, moving through shadows with unnatural intelligence. Energy storms chase them across deserts and mountains, twisting landscapes into dangerous terrains. In one intense sequence, the survivors must cross a broken bridge swaying over a canyon lit by glowing cracks of magma, with mutated creatures closing in behind them. Another scene shows them trapped inside an old factory as electrical storms explode around them, turning metal into deadly lightning conductors. These set pieces build continuous tension, blending physical danger with psychological dread. Every moment pushes the group closer to breaking, and the question hangs in the air: who will endure and who will be lost to the apocalypse? As they move closer to the source of the cosmic disruption, the survivors discover a hidden research facility built decades ago by scientists who predicted the event. Inside, they find documents revealing that the apocalypse could be slowed or maybe even reversed if a specific ancient device is activated at the right location. This device, housed in a remote mountain temple, was meant to stabilize the energy between Earth and the cosmic force causing destruction. But the journey there is nearly impossible, guarded by collapsing terrain, storms, and mutated creatures. This revelation turns the story from survival into a mission, giving the survivors a sense of purpose even as the world crumbles faster around them. The scientists and strategists clash over whether the mission is realistic, but the teenager insists that trying is better than waiting to die, driving the group forward. As they reach the temple, the atmosphere shifts into a blend of mystery, spirituality, and raw fear. The ancient structure stands half buried in debris, glowing faintly with energy that seems alive. Inside, murals depict past civilizations destroyed by the same cycle, each leaving behind clues for the next survivors. The group navigates traps, puzzles, and relics, each symbolizing humanity's repeated struggle against cosmic fate. The tension peaks when they discover that activating the device requires a massive surge of chi-like energy generated through sacrifice. The scientist suggests a method that might avoid loss, but time is running out as the storms close in, shaking the temple violently. In the emotional climax, the strategist volunteers to stay behind and power the device manually, knowing the cost will be his own life. His transformation from hardened warrior to selfless protector becomes one of the most impactful arcs in the story. The medic pleads with him to reconsider. The teenager cries, refusing to lose another person he cares about, and the scientist struggles with guilt for having led them into danger. But the strategist's calm acceptance brings a moment of heartbreaking beauty, representing the idea that humanity can rise even in its final moments. He activates the mechanism just as the building collapses around him, releasing a massive burst of stabilizing energy into the sky. The final sequence shows the storm slowing, the skies clearing, and the world pausing as if taking a breath after suffocating for too long. The survivors escape the temple, carrying both grief and hope. The teenager looks at the sky with tears, understanding that the world may never return to what it was, but life still has a chance. The medic and scientist lead him across the cracked valley, walking toward the faint glow of sunrise breaking through the deadly clouds. The movie ends on a bittersweet note. The apocalypse has not been completely stopped, but it has been delayed long enough for humanity to rebuild, learn, and understand the fragility of existence. The emotional weight of loss blends with the quiet promise of survival, leaving viewers with a sense of awe, fear, and hope intertwined.